friends, today we will discuss about material turnover ratio, a technique for material control. Turnover ratios measure how efficiently a company uses its assets. The inventory turnover or material turnover ratio expresses how many times the average inventory is rotated throughout the period. These ratios are useful in identifying unnecessary investment in inventories. Material turnover ratio is also known as stock turnover ratio or stock velocity. It indicates the speed with which the raw materials have been consumed in production. It gives the number of times in a year the stock is used up and replenished. A low inventory turnover ratio compared to the industry average and competitors means poor inventory management, which ensures that either slow down in the demand or overstocking. While a high inventory or material turnover ratio means efficiency in use of funds invested in the stock. Inventory turnover indicating slow moving items have been classified in the following three categories: slow moving materials, dormant items, and obsolete items. Slow moving materials are those items which exhaust at a very slow speed. An attempt should be made to minimize the stock of such items in the store. Dormant items are the materials that do not have demand in the present and represent zero turnover ratio. Such stock may regain its demand in the future. Proper decisions should be taken by the storekeeper and the officials in concern whether to keep, or that is to retain or dispose of such items. Third items are the obsolete items. These items do not have demand at all and represent a zero turnover ratio. Obsolete items should be immediately scrapped or discarded, and profit and loss of such items should be transferred to costing profit and loss account. The formula for stock turnover ratio in times is cost of material consumed divided by average stock, where cost of material consumed is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, and average stock represents opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. The formula to calculate stock turnover ratio in days is 365 days, that is 365 days in a year, divided by stock turnover ratio in times. We'll take a look into this example. John Trading Concern provides you the following data for the year 2016. Opening stock rupees 5,70,000, closing stock rupees 6,30,000, purchases made during the year rupees 36,60,000. Calculate and interpret material turnover ratio, that is rate of stock turnover or stock turnover ratio for John Trading Concern. Here we are supposed to calculate the material turnover ratio, and we know the formula for material turnover ratio, that is cost of material consumed divided by average stock. The question is very direct. We'll find out how to calculate this material turnover ratio. To calculate the material turnover ratio, we'll first find out average stock. Average stock is equal to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. We know that the opening stock is rupees 5,70,000 and closing stock is rupees 6,30,000. Divided by 2, we get an average stock of rupees 6 lakh. Now we'll find out cost of material consumed. The formula is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. So the opening stock is 5,70,000 rupees plus rupees 36,60,000 as the purchases minus closing stock rupees 6,30,000. We get the cost of material consumed as rupees 36 lakh. So finally, to find out the inventory turnover ratio or the so-called material turnover ratio, the formula is cost of material consumed divided by average stock. So we'll put in the values rupees 36 lakh divided by rupees 6 lakh. We get 6 times a year, or that means once every 2 months. Taking the second example, calculate inventory turnover and days inventories on hand for ABC company based on the information given below. Opening inventory rupees 25,000, closing inventory rupees 30,000, cost of goods manufactured rupees 2,45,000. Here the question has asked us to calculate the inventory turnover as well as the days inventories. That is, we have to calculate the material turnover ratio in times and as well as in days. And here it's given opening inventory, closing inventory, and cost of goods manufactured. So we'll find out how to calculate the inventory turnover ratio in times firstly. To find out inventory turnover ratio, or the so-called material turnover ratio, the first thing we have to find out is the cost of material consumed or cost of goods sold. The formula is opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, and we get a value of rupees 2,40,000. Here rupees 2,45,000 is the purchases which is already given in the question. Then average inventories, opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2, and we get rupees 27,500. Now the formula, we know the formula, that is cost of goods sold divided by average stock, or the cost of materials consumed divided by average stock. We get a value of 8.373 times. Now we are supposed to also calculate inventory turnover ratio in days, right? That is days inventories outstanding. So the total number of days in a year, 365 days, divided by inventory turnover ratio in times, 8.73 times, you get 41.8 days. Inventory turnover ratio is an important tool of material control. Large stock of materials is a cause of worry as it increases the carrying cost and leads to loss of materials. It is an indicator of the speed with which materials are moving. A low ratio is an indicator of slow moving materials and carrying of too much stock. On the other hand, a high ratio is an indicator of fast moving materials and less investment in stock. Inventory turnover ratio is an attempt to reduce the investment in stock and improve the efficiency of material management. I hope the concept is clear. Please do share your comments. For more updates, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you.